see if it worked.
Hey, Jorgen. That's my stepdad out in Diani in Kenya.
Oh, what? Oh, snap. Let's do it, Dad. Let in. Who's gonna help me let folks in?
I'm doing it. I'm
okay.
I'm letting people in, Asher.
Okay, perfect. All right, I think I am set on this side with the technical stuff.
It's 12 noon.
Perfect. One more thing. There we go. All righty.
It's like people are joining. Woo-hoo.
I would love to know where Mr. Hellgren is calling in from. He like whatever this grand background is.
Someplace in Kenya. If you're just joining us, say hi in the chat. Tell us where you're zooming in from, where around the world, and who invited you to tonight's official book launch.
Jorgen, you're on mute. I can see you talking. So Daniel, that's my stepdad. He's in Diani in Kenya. You have to unmute.
Naperville, Illinois. We got Newton Beach, California in the house. Hello and welcome.
Where is Rim Shaw?
Keep on. Virginia, Ontario.
Oh, I like this. This is awesome.
Hello and welcome, everyone.
All right, we're going to take one more minute and then we are going to start. David, I see you, bro. I see you.
Can you hear me?
I can.
All right. Since I'm a little bit slow in the typing department, hey, aloha, folks. Hey, from Honolulu, Hawaii.
Oh, nice.
Island.
The island life.
Oh, absolutely. I will figure out this typing thing here in a minute. So,
Mr. David, it doesn't matter because you're just a man with a slow hand, and every single woman wants a man with a slow hand, right? And an easy touch.
You know what? I like the way you think. That works for me.
Okay, let me double check. Is Rimsha here already? Anybody seen her in the chat?
Her AI assistant.
No, she's not. 1 second for Rim to get here, and then we can start.
If you're just joining us, say hi in the chat. Tell us where you're zooming in from tonight. Or this morning. I'm so used to saying tonight when I have meetings.
It is night for some people, some places.
I don't know what time it is in Kenya. Maybe it's tonight in Kenya, right? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're joining us from all around the world. Say hi in the chat. Washington State, Sacramento, Hartford, Connecticut, Florida, San Jose, Mexico. Let's see.
Let me give a shout out to my beautiful sister from another Miss Elaine Quabner from Sacramento. We had a pleasure of actually meeting about 5 years ago at a workshop in LA, and just a beautiful soul. So thanks, sister.
Oh, you're welcome, dear.
Awesome.
All right, we are going to get started.
Hello, Asher, everyone.
Oh, that's Tanya. What's up? What's up, big sister? I got you in the room.
And anybody on this, it's probably gonna be some people out here that can relate to me, Asher. They know why my picture why I ain't showing my face, because this hair's a mess this morning. So I got that profile picture. But I'm here.
I'm also here in Gianni, in Kenya, Jorgen Hellgren.
Nice. Welcome, sir. Mr.
Thank you very
Hellgren.
much. Yeah.
All right, team.
I'm a stepdad. I'm a stepdad to Anne. So I'm very proud of all of what you have done.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Of course, of course. Are we going to officially jump off the meeting? We are at time. Thank you for the generous use of your time. Showing up here, we appreciate you showing up. And for everyone, just take a moment and think about your favorite memory. It could be with your family, friends, close colleague, or even a deeply intimate connection with someone or something meaningful. For me, I'm thinking about snowboarding, because this is the time of the year when I normally go snowboarding, right? That feeling of me gliding on the slope. Do you have your favorite moments in mind? Now imagine something happened and you no longer have access to that memory. I have videos of me snowboarding, but what's not in those videos is how I felt in those moments. And let me tell you, how you feel is important to express, and you're going to learn that today. So think about your favorite memories again. Where did you record it? Did you record it at all? And do you and how do you want to record the most significant moments going forward? That's why you're here today. You're here because 10 incredible authors took some of their most important memories, experiences, and lessons and transformed them into stories. They're about to take you on a museum tour, so to speak, right? Think about a museum tour through their histories, their journeys, their hearts. You'll hear why these memories were significant enough for them to share, how they transform into their intellectual property, and why these personal artifacts, their lessons, their joys, and their challenges matters to you. Through their eyes, you get to see the immense value of your own story. You'll learn how to increase the value of your history, just like they did. So welcome to Dare to Ignite Your Dreams, a collection of immigrant voices redefining success and legacy. But before we dive in, I have a quick question for you. It's a bit unorthodox, but I'm going to try it on you guys today. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being low, 10 being high, how unhappy are you today? On a scale of 1 to 10, put in the chat, how unhappy are you today? Put it in the chat. We want to see those numbers. I'm going to check the chat too. Let me see here. Okay. Come on, folks. We need some courage. Go and drop your number in the chat. If you know the type, let's go to the comment section. Drop your number in the chat. Ooh. How unhappy are you today? Some ones, some twos, zeros. A 6, a 1, a 2. Keep going. All right. Perfect. So now, if your unhappiness number is higher than a 2, then come see us next week at our post launch on 11 December at 12:30. I mean, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We know it's a holiday, and we just want to let you guys know that we're here for you. One of my favorite quotes is from Punjab Papa G, and says, "Happiness is permanent. It is always here. What comes and goes is unhappiness." So let this quote kind of remind you that happiness is always within reach, and together we can ignite our dreams together. So family, it's yours truly, Asher. For the folks that do not know me, I've been in the United States 26 years. This is actually an anniversary month that I moved to the United States. And 22 of those 26 years, I've served in the United States military, and I retired from it. But while I was in the military, one big question that drove me was, who do you want to be a hero to, Asher? So I'm asking the same question to you. Who do you want to be a hero to? So the answer for that question for me was the American family, American population, because it was worth my sacrifice. And when I was getting ready to retire from the military, the same question was nagging at me again. So who do you want to be a hero to now, Asher? And the answer came back to my immigrant family. And this is the reason why I want to wake up every day to be a hero to the immigrant family, because they're also worth my sacrifice. Because I wake up in love with these people to want to give them joy and gifts that make their life even more positive. But if you're a modern day mother right now, I just want you to imagine with me for a minute. Just imagine being 34 years old and already have 9 kids. Just imagine that. And if you're a modern day father, imagine 9 kids without a formal education. Just imagine that. Now, growing up at the age of 34, my mom already had 9 kids. So by the age 34, my mom already knocked out 9 kids. She put all of us out her system already. And growing up, my dad didn't have a formal education because he lost both his parents by the age of 10. So I've seen what those 2 individuals were able to do when they team up and work together. So I just want you guys to think about that. And when I see what those 2 individuals were able to do, I tell myself there's nothing you can't do, Asher, because them and their disadvantage made me the person I am today. So today I am here with you, not just as a soldier, but as a dreamer, an author, and someone who believes in the power of sharing stories. And let's ignite our dream together, starting right now. So what's on the agenda today? The vision, mission, what's in it for you, and how do we get here? The vision, this project is more than just writing stories. It's about unlocking the profound potential within yourself. It's a celebration of courage, a catalyst for transformation, and a testament to the life-changing power of sharing your journey. And the mission is very simple: to celebrate immigrant stories, to honor the courage it takes to share your battles and lessons, and to remind everyone that their story is valuable. What's in it for you? Discover the value in your story, why you should turn your stories into intellectual property, and how to increase the value of your story by writing it. Gain clarity.
Asher, you're muted.
On mute. Can you guys?
You're muted again.
You're muted. Somebody's muting you?
You're mute.
Asher, you're on mute. Somebody's muting you?
All right. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. One of my co-hosts is shutting people down. That's cool. I got you. That's perfect. All right. So on the screen today, you will see these 10 authors, their individual version of their book. So whoever these authors resonate with you, you get to really tap into their journey. They're gonna talk about how did they get here, their why, and we're gonna tap into that story with you. So is Rimsha here already? Anybody check? Is she here in the room?
Nope.
Rimsha is absent. Okay. So we're gonna start off with our first. Daniel's gonna set the scene. So we're gonna bring up.
Who makes DJ Asher?
Huh? Daniel, is that a music or is that a loop on your thing?
It seems to be when you unmute Daniel that it kicks in. And then it stops when you mute. That's interesting because we heard you perfectly before.
Daniel, try to log out and log back in.
Yes.
Move on to someone else and his might not do that later.
All right. We're gonna roll into the program. So let's start with Karin. So have you ever met someone who makes everything seems effortless? That's Karin, our German precision. Karin's leadership is inspiring, and her ability to simplify the complex gift is a gift to me. So she is like, think about Karin. If she was my boss, I would say, please don't fire me. So let's give Karin a warm welcome as she shares her incredible story and her why.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Asher. And yeah, I would never fire you. So my name is Karin Knecht, and I grew up in a small little town in South Germany. I've always had Wanderlust and loved to travel, and that's why I started my career in the hospitality industry. And I always envisioned working in different hotels in all kinds of different parts of the world. So far, I've traveled to about 30 countries and states and love to learn about different cultures, eat different food, and experience the local activities. The question for you, have you ever started a new chapter in your life and you did not know anybody in that new environment? Put it in the chat, put a yes in there, because that's what's happened to me in 1997 when I moved to London. I moved to a country which was exciting, but it was also terrifying because I did not know anybody. And this was a huge step for me, leaving Germany to an English-speaking country. Although I had studied English for a couple of years, it's still quite daring. So didn't know anybody and had to start that chapter in my life alone. And my new home was a small little room. It was a bed, a cupboard, and I shared the apartment with a guy from Jamaica and a girl from the UK. And it was challenging at first, getting to know everybody, getting to know the places, lots of people around me, noisy. Obviously, London is big, communicating in English and getting to know ways of working at the hotel. But I loved living in a melting pot like London. I worked with different people from 40 different countries and made friends all over the world. And after 5 exciting years, I actually felt the urge to explore something else, and I moved to Chicago in 2003. So I'm a global citizen who doesn't fit in anywhere, but feels at home everywhere. So on my journey to see the world, various people supported me on the way. They encouraged me to see opportunities rather than problems, which really helped me define who I am today. With every new chapter in my life, I became more resilient and bounced back from setbacks. And I learned to tap into my network, find allies, mentors, and coaches on the way. So follow me on my journey and hear about my experiences as a global citizen and immigrant. Get lessons and inspiration that can help you navigate your path. So learn about stereotypes people have about Americans and Germans and find out if they are true. And learn to navigate cultural divides so you feel a sense of belonging and are successful as a leader who creates high-performing multicultural teams at work. So order the book today if you haven't already done so. Grab a beer, a glass of wine, or a cup of tea, as we say in London, and enjoy embarking on the journey with us. So get inspired by our stories, join the Memoirs of Millions launch team. And we believe that everyone has a story to tell. So when will you start telling yours?
Ooh, I love that. That was very good, Karin. Thank you so much. That was an incredible share. We appreciate you sharing your story. And I'm going to jump back into Daniel to bring him on the screen. And hopefully Daniel is ready to chat. So next we have Daniel to bring the vibrant spice of Vietnam to this project. When
All right, I'm back. Thank you so much. Can you hear me okay?
Cool. Yes, we can hear you. Perfect.
Awesome. Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good anything, whatever you're celebrating right now. My name is Daniel PHUONGtastic. That's actually Daniel Fong, but I always say PHUONGtastic because every single day is a PHUONGtastic day, right? So here's my story, my journey. I was actually manufactured in Vietnam, and then I was shipped to America. And yes, I did come to America by boat. I know I look a lot younger, but I was actually shipped here in 1979. And then I was assembled in the cold tundra of Minnesota. My mom was a single mother of 5 kids. She raised all 5 kids by herself. I don't know how she did it. And she told us to go to school, get good grades, and get a good job, right? But for me, she told me, go to school, get a good grades, and become a doctor. I thought I actually landed the golden lottery of being the golden child, the chosen one, right? My path was so clear and concise. All I had to do was follow my mom's dreams to becoming rich, successful, and being a contribution to this world by way of medicine. So I did exactly just that. But deep down inside, it was really interesting because I felt myself like, this isn't really for me, but I'm doing it for mom because that's the thing to do, right? I knew that I was so different. I knew that I wasn't better than anyone else. I knew that I wasn't less than anyone else, but I also knew at the same time, I wasn't the same as anyone else. I was a little bit different. So following that path, 2 years into medical school, I dropped out because I'm like, this is not for me. I got to find who I am, what my gifts are, and how do I actually serve that to the world. So not only did I actually drop out of the medical school, I came out of the closet as a gay man to my mom at the age of 20, and then I got kicked out. That was the worst feeling in the world. The only safe place that I could ever feel no longer existed. So out of that, I actually started floundering. I got a job. I worked in multiple industries, but I was constantly saying yes to whatever it is because I was still trying to seek who I am, and I couldn't find it at all. And then in 2008, after 32 careers, I landed into the world of network marketing. And network marketing introduced me to the world of personal development. I'm like, what in the heck is personal development? That was actually a deep exploration of the inside to find out who I am, what am I made of, what my gifts are, and how do I serve that into the world. I always say this, life is meant to be lived forward, but only in looking back can you actually connect the dots.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's why I said when you have time.
So everything happens for a reason. So I dropped out of medical school, but I came into the world and the school of hard knocks, and then I came out of the closet, but I came into the chamber of personal development. I got kicked out of the house, but that was actually when I got kicked in the year behind of actually finding out who I am. And it was such a liberation. Dolly Parton once said, find out who you are and then do that with purpose. And that's what I have been doing for the last 16 years. As a result of that, I've been able to actually rock my own skin. Can you imagine the freedom it feels to be able to own you, do you unapologetically? What I found out is this, you were good enough to be born, so you're good enough. No longer did I need the external validation. There was no enemy outside of me anymore because the only true enemy was the inner me. And when I learned to master that inner me, I was invincible. And so my goal, my journey, why I actually embarked on this collaboration is to actually help people to go from fear to freedom. Fear from the limiting beliefs, fear from the constraints of what people would think, fear from taking risk. You know, that's the most beautiful thing, to take a leap of faith, because the truth is this, life is a gamble. So might as well bet on yourself, place all bets on yourself. And when you do that, you can actually rock this. So my goal is to help you live powerfully, authentically, and unapologetically. Because as a stone cold fact, life is not a dress rehearsal. Like Eminem says, we only get one shot, one chance at this thing. So let's rock the skin that you're in so you can rock the world that you live in. It's time to step up into your greatness, claim your magic, shine your light, tell your story, because the world needs to hear that.
Ooh, mic drop. Thank you so much, Daniel. That was amazing. That was incredible, by the way. That was very good. Thank you so much for sharing that. And we appreciate having Daniel in this group, in this collaboration. And our next amazing author is Ilona. And Ilona was the first person to actually say yes to this project. She was one of the person that gave me the belief and hope to move forward. As a 2-time international bestselling author, her insight and support have been instrumental. I still remember how she transformed my approach to social media marketing with one single conversation. Ilona, thank you for being part of this foundation of this journey. Please share your why.
Thank you so much, Asher. Happy to be here. And I will start with the question. What if you were told that you are a loser all your life and you finally proved them wrong, despite all of that? I remember how I'm packing my bags to move to the United States. It's almost time to go to bed. I intensively packing everything, waiting over and over again because I didn't have money to cover extra weight on my baggage. So kids running around, I have two of them. They were small at that time. And in the midst of this chaos, my father slowly turned his head towards me and meaning every single word pronounced. You know that you are not only traitor to your country, you are traitor to your own family. I'm Ilona Seddik. I'm social media marketing strategist, book coach, Amazon bestselling author, and a business owner. I moved to the United States and I was never, ever meant to be here because I was almost killed during a domestic violence incident. I still remember these horrible noises from next door neighbors, smells in the kitchen where I was beaten up. I was never praised as a winner. I was always told, please, just don't mess it up. If you ever heard this sentence or variation, please give me a comment, any comment you want in the chat. I feel you deeply. And my studies actually meant to be a kind of gateway to my marriage, because my mom used to say, you need to find a husband at least. And I was raised near the Arctic Circle, have 3 degrees that's highly connected to my native language. I'm a lawyer and philologist in Russian language. I'm PhD in Russian law. Yes, I'm from Russia. And I moved to the United States 5 years ago. I found actually my place here. I rediscovered so many things about myself, build up my confidence, start to help others, because I believe in giving, because first you give, then you ask. And writing my story, I reveal my path, my way, how I get back my strength, how I build up my confidence, and more importantly, my practical steps, step by step, how I build up my business. Because I believe you can flourish when you heard and seen, and when you appreciate it just for who you are. And at that moment, you start to help others. You start to make a world a better place, and better place for my kids. That's a bit selfish here, but I'm a mom. I'm a very sometimes helicopter mom, but it is what it is. And after 3 years living here, I remember that it was post-pandemic time, and I met my son after his school day, yellow bus, like from my childhood movies, American movies, and we hand in hand going back to home. And he said, you know, Mom, at school they ask everybody what's about your parents, their work, and we exchange stories. And you know, I said that you're a writer, and I told all my friends about you. You're awesome. And he even said to me that you start to smile wider like this, and he pointed his fingers to his toothless smile like this, and wider, wider, wider. So at that moment, I have an answer to the words of my father just in the beginning of my story. And I feel that I changed not only the trajectory of my life, but the trajectory of life of my kids. And I sincerely invite you to do the same. And reading our book with all our stories, you find these steps toward yourself, because you're the most valuable thing on this planet. And I invite you to invest in yourself by starting with this small step, just reading our stories, and build up that you always feel that inside you. Let it flourish. It's impossible for them. Remember, all that you've told that you're a loser or whatever, it's impossible for them, but so real for you. And I truly believe in this. Thank you.
Ooh, that was very good. That was very good, Ilona. Thank you so much for sharing. We got some incredible folks in the room. You guys are gonna really appreciate some of these books when you tap into them. But coming to the stage is our Mexican flavor to ever, whose unique story blew me away. She comes from a lineage of writers, and her journey is one of exploration and pride. I told Eva that that her story is one I'd buy for my daughter because of how inspiring and rich it is. Let's welcome the beautiful Eva to share her why.
Thank you, Asher. Thank you, everybody, for being here.
Turn up your volume a little bit. You know. Say again. Can't hear you.
Now, better?
There we go. There we go.
Okay, perfect. Wrong mic. Well, happy to be here. Thank you, Asher, for the introduction. I'm so happy to see a lot of my people here connecting from Miami, Mexico, and other places. So, yeah. So what is the biggest stereotype you know about Mexicans? It's probably tequila and tacos, right? And then that we're all illegal. But guess what? One of the few Mexicans that immigrated legally when I was 16. And that was a big deal for me because I didn't fit in with the other Mexicans. I was too classy, as they used to tell me, and they couldn't believe I spoke English when I first came here because I went to international schools in Mexico, bilingual, so I did know some English. And I was too Mexican for the Americans. So it's the story of my life. I tried so hard when Daniel was telling his story. It just resonated with me so much because, you know, it's always trying to fit in and saying yes to all these things that you really don't want to say yes, but you don't know why you're doing it. So that's how it was. Before that, I was loving life, living in Mexico, and I was born and raised there in Mexico City. Then we moved because of my mom's job, and then it all changed. So I had some family there. They're actually here connected, my aunts and uncles and some cousins, and they just made it so much easier because I couldn't, you know, make friends, and it was very lonely. I got into an episode of very bad depression, and just, you know, playing the bass guitar and photography became my lifelines at the moment. And I had a big teenage dream that was going to Finland, to live in Finland. So you're probably wondering now, like, why Finland? Like, who wants to go to Finland? And I did because my favorite band, I love metal and rock music. So my favorite bands were from Finland, and I had this like big dream to move there. And the planets just aligned, allowing me to go there. We made a big effort money-wise. We saved a lot of money. My mom asked for some, you know, financing. I sold cookies at school, and I just went. I was like, this is one opportunity in a lifetime. So I moved to Finland. I lived there for 6 months, and that just opened my mind so much to see the difference between the countries, right? Like, we know Finland is the first place in education and happiness and all these amazing things, but they're also first place in suicides and other like harsh things. So it was just very cool to see this from my, you know, first-hand experience. And then I went back to Mexico for a semester, then I moved back to the US. So I've been everywhere. You can read this in my story. But in the process, I encountered some, you know, some deep things of myself. One of this is what I just put in the book. It's the first time I'm sharing it publicly, which is I have a BFRB. So for those who don't know this, it's a body-focused repetitive behavior, and it's called trichotillomania, and I pull my hair without noticing. So I've been dealing with that for the last 15 years of my life, at least consciously. So yeah, it's been, you know, a journey of like finding myself in these different places, always missing my beautiful country, but we had to leave because there was a shooting next to my house. So yeah, you can find all of these things in the book. And I'm just so grateful to be here sharing this moment with all these, amazing people and all their stories. Every time, I was reading some of them, it was just amazing to see how we've gone through so many things, and not because you had it worse than others, but everybody has a different story. And I believe the power of community, like how we can have all these people, united here, sharing the same purpose. And I've been able to really do that through my work. I always say I have like an alter ego because I'm Eva Mariana. So in Mexico, everybody calls me Mariana. Here, everybody calls me Eva. That was another big shock for me, like having to, divide these personalities, because I do feel like we change when we speak another language. So yeah, I feel like my Eva personality is like the one that does production and social media and marketing. I have my own agency, and then with my husband. And then the other side is Mariana, which is a menstrual cycle educator and counselor, and I teach natural fertility to women and couples that want to either avoid pregnancy naturally or achieve it naturally without side effects. So yeah, I do a lot of different things, and I'm just happy to share with the world. And I hope my story can inspire others and make immigrants feel that they're not alone, because sometimes you do feel that when you're going through that. So we have all these different stories to make sure that you all, feel connected, and hopefully you all can also, if you're interested, you can share your story too in the future. So thank you all.
Wow. Thank you so much, Eva. That was very good. Thank you so much. And you guys can see this community is full of a bunch of different spices, right? That kind of make things really awesome. And definitely not alone, Eva. Definitely not alone. Our next author coming to the stage. Our next author coming to the stage. Lavinia is my Romanian sister, by the way, and a longtime business partner. She has been a steadfast friend, fueled my belief and encouraged me through countless ideas. Lav, your story is a testament to the power of courage and authenticity, and I am so proud you choose to share it. Let's welcome Lavinia to the stage to tell us her why.
Wow, thank you, everyone. You would think I would not be nervous, but with this introduction, like my heart is racing. So thank you. Thank you for making me part of this wonderful project. So I'm Lavinia from Romania, Transylvania, blah, blah, blah. And yes, Dracula was related to me. I'm his great granddaughter. I started my journey right after graduating my master's degree in Romania. My dream was to become a flight attendant, believe it or not. And I convinced my mom to give me her blessings to actually move abroad and just for 1 year or two be a flight attendant. Obviously, it was a hard task because no mother really wants to see her daughter flying all day every day and, be stressed about her safety. But eventually she did give me her blessing, and I moved to Bahrain, which is a beautiful island next to Dubai. Well, 1 or 2 years turned into 5. And then when COVID happened, I decided that it's time to move on with my life. But interesting, I didn't feel like moving back to Romania would be a great choice because I felt like I'm not fitting in anymore after traveling so much and meeting so many people from so many countries and cultures. My views of world changed a lot compared to my fellow Romanians, and I wanted to explore the world even further. And this crazy idea came to my mind that I want to move to the United States. Wow, how crazy that is. And unbelievable, and almost a dream that cannot come true because it's hard to move to the United States and get your visa, right? So my friends and family definitely were supportive of all my crazy ideas, but I don't know how much they really believe that it's going to really happen. And at times, due to the obstacles and challenges that I faced trying to get my visa and move legally to the United States, I honestly lost my hope at times. And that was the hardest challenge, to try to not lose my belief. because if you believe it, you will eventually see it. So after like 1.5 years of challenges and disappointments and betrayals, because I also partner up with the wrong investors here in the United States, and yeah, it was a challenging journey, and you'll find all the details in the book, so go ahead and read it. I was able to finally get the investor visa and officially move to United States. I packed 2 bags. And when people ask me why I chose Florida, because I'm in Florida, I like to make this kind of a joke, but it's like almost real. It's like, how did you like choose to move to Tampa, Florida? I said, I closed my eyes and I just put my finger on the map, and there you go, I moved to Tampa. Well, it's kind of real because I didn't know anybody here. I just decided that, I cannot be that dumb, and I can make it in this real estate world by myself, and I don't need no real estate partners to do it. And I said, well, since I will do it by myself, where do I want to be? I want to be in the Sunshine State. And based on my research, Tampa Bay area was developing. So I said, okay, that's it. Well, because when you move to United States, if you don't have a credit score and you don't have, your background, you really don't exist. No rental history, so it's hard to actually rent a place. And I had a friend who suggested to move in my office because I prepaid the office for 1 year. I had to plan my investment. And when I first heard that idea, I was like, oh, that's crazy, no way. But then as my departure approached, my mom started to be really worried, and my brother, where will I live? And I was making, little jokes like, oh, Tampa has a lot of bridges. I'm sure I'll find a cute one to stay underneath for a couple of months. But on a more serious note, I started to take into consideration the idea of moving into my office because it was a great, beautiful building with a gym, with showers. Yes, everyone, I could shower. I wasn't stinking all day every day with a small kitchenette. So I actually lived for a few months in my office without anybody to know except Asher and my mom. But yeah, that's a journey. And when we started the idea of writing the book, I'm sure that all of us had the imposter syndrome feeling. As like, who am I exactly? Why are people interested in my story? I didn't really quite make it right. Well, you will be pleased to hear that I moved out of the office. So I did make it from that perspective. But do we really are where we would like to be to consider ourselves truly successful? I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe we still have a lot of goals and we have bigger dreams, and the journey is not ended yet. However, sitting back and trying to write my experience was a blessing because I took a moment to pat myself on the back and appreciate all the obstacles that I went through, the courage that I actually had to go through those obstacles and not stop and hold my vision when almost nobody believed in it, and almost even I didn't believe it at times. So it was a testament of courage and appreciation. We never really take time to appreciate ourselves, right? And our journey. We rarely do so. So writing this story was a privilege, and it was a tool to look back and appreciate myself more. And I hope that it will inspire people in their really low, challenging moments to not give up, move forward. And even if the path is not the path that you thought initially will be, no problem. Detours happen for a reason. God knows what's meant to be, it'll happen, maybe through a different form, not the one that you planned. And I guess I'll let you guys with this because I can go on and on and on, and our 1 hour will stop. But it was an honor to another thought, and then I'll let you all go, is that it was an honor to read everybody else's journey and to not feel so alone. Sorry, guys, to not feel so alone, because as Eva was saying, she wasn't Mexican enough, but not American enough. I think all immigrants have this experience where there are none of this or that 100%, but that means you're special, and that's great. However, it feels great to find a community that feels like you, that had the same or similar challenges, and to be understood even more. So the biggest gift from this project was finding a community that shares the same values, vision, challenges, and dreams and hopes. Thank you all.
Thank you, Lav. That was a long share, Lav. That was a long share.
It was more than 2 minutes. Sorry, guys.
Lav, I hope you write as much as you talk, right? Thank you so much for sharing, Lav. As always, we appreciate you being here. And our next incredible person that is going to talk to you today is Anne. Anne brings the richness of Kenya to our group. Living in the UK now, her story is filled with resilience and fascinating life experiences. I told Anne that without her writing, I would never have known the depth of her incredible journey. Let's welcome Anne to share her why.
Thank you, Asher, and thank you everyone for tuning in today. It's such a privilege seeing everyone here and helping us celebrate this launch. So thank you for that. So as Asher said, I'm originally from Kenya. I left Kenya when I was 5 years old. I moved to Ethiopia. My dad was posted as an ambassador there. And what that meant was the security was insane. I love your comment there, Daniel. Anne has 2 seconds. Go. All right, you're gonna have to give me more than 2 seconds, Daniel. So when we moved to Ethiopia, because of my dad's position, it just meant that, oh, and by the way, when we moved, this was in the 80s, early, like mid 80s, and kidnapping was thriving, like it was the next best thing to make a quick buck or two. So the security was insane. We had security guards with AK-47s 24/7 guarding the gates. Vehicles coming into the compound had to be scanned with bomb scanning equipments underneath, because people used to drive in, terrorists used to drive in cars into embassies and then blow them up. So terrorism as well was really on a high alert. So we stayed there for about 3 years. And that was an interesting experience because we couldn't go in and out of the compound without security. Like, it was super sheltered. And what was interesting about that experience, and I'm kind of glad, like, I left when I was still a child, because it was very far removed from what reality actually is. So there's a part of me, as much as I'm grateful for experiencing that, I'm grateful I didn't grow up in that environment for too much longer. So anyway, we moved to Sweden. My parents were, before we left for Ethiopia, my parents were mourning the death of my brother, their firstborn son. So it was a very difficult time for them. People were fighting their own internal demons, as you can imagine. For any parent here, you could think, even if you're not a parent, it's quite a safe assumption to assume that one of the worst things that can possibly hit you in life is the loss of your child. And so naturally, they were going through a lot of internal struggles. It put a strain on their marriage. So by the time we'd gone to Sweden, they separated. My mom knew that moving back to Kenya was not going to be a wise decision for her. It was a very patriotic society. And she knew that that's not the society she wanted to go back to. So she decided to stay. Now, I put some of these details in my book, but what happened was there was a little gremlin that was born in my mind from this. And it was a gremlin of not being enough, because I was like, why did my mom move back with us? Are we not good enough for her? Now, of course, as a grown-up, I know that's not true. But as a child, trying to make sense of what's happening, that was the seed that was planted. And that seed has followed me quite a lot in my life. Disclosure alert, spoiler alert, been responsible for a lot of shady dating reasons, decisions in my life. Fast forward anyway, when my mom stayed on, she met my lovely stepfather, Jorgen, who we've seen here. And we moved back to Kenya eventually with my dad, and then went to a boarding school there, which has quite a few interesting stories in the book. Little spoiler alert there again. Do you know teachers in Kenya are allowed to beat the crap out of you? Like, seriously, like they used to tell us to go get your stick. You come back with a small stick, they beat you with it until it breaks and tell you, now go get a proper stick. So that was a lesson I learned the hard way, as well as pipes, water pipes, and all sorts. But anyway, it builds character, shall we say. Resilience. I don't advocate it. I mean, I can laugh about it now, but there's nothing, it is obviously traumatic, but I've dealt with it. And I think it's better to kind of take it from that sense rather than hold on to it. And this is one of the things I keep teaching, even in my book, in my work, is about resilience, is about whatever you go through. If you are willing to take a learning lesson from it, it changes who you are for the better, not for the worse. One of my favorite sayings is, people are not disturbed by things, but by the view they take of them. So I saw that as an opportunity to continue growing. So we eventually moved back to Sweden with Jorgen and my mom. And during that time, I lost my brother as well. So I lost my father and my brother while I was in Sweden. And I lost my brother just before I moved to the UK. I'd been planning to move for ages. And finally, about a month before I was meant to move, he took his life. This is some of the things that I work with as well. And one of my passions is talking about mental health issues, and especially within the minority communities where there's such a stigma around it, and making sure that we can have honest, open conversations and create safe spaces for people to be able to discuss mental health issues. So I moved to the UK. I decided to do counseling psychology for my undergrad. I did a master's in occupational and organizational psychology. Thought I'd move back to Sweden. I didn't. I fell in love with it, and I decided to stay on. And here I am, 22 years later, doing what I love. I've got 2 amazing kids. I think one of them was here earlier on saying, "Going, jump then. So that's my little Zach. He's 6 years old. He's autistic. And this is another thing I'm passionate about, is actually speaking about neurodiversity and inclusion and equality and what that means. So whether you're a child or an adult, that's something, again, I'm really passionate about. So I hope you enjoy the book. We have put our hearts and souls. I know we've joked about it being a bit of therapy sessions for some of us, and healing some stuff that we thought we healed and hadn't really healed, maybe. I know that was true for me anyway, but I really enjoyed the whole process. I really enjoyed writing with such amazing people, with such amazing stories, and I'm so proud to be part of this group and feel so privileged. And thank you everyone again for joining us.
Ooh, thank you so much. And that was very good, very good. We got Colleen coming up next, and I know she got to run out of here before the time is run out, but Colleen is a fitness guru, so to speak, and an absolute powerhouse. Colleen was my spin instructor, and our connection has grown into an incredible partnership. Her story resonates deeply with me, reflecting the strength and culture we both share. Let's welcome Dr. Colleen to share her why.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today to listen to our stories, just an introduction to our stories, and put the faces, the voices to the work that you will enjoy reading. So I will start by asking you some questions. Have you ever felt like you were dealt the worst cards in life, or that you were so different from your family, you kind of question whether or not you were related? Right? And sometimes I often wonder, is this really the family I was birthed into? I just don't connect with any of them. So with that said, my name is Colleen, and I think last name Rankine. I still haven't done the DNA test yet, but I do find that I have some similar features and drive as some people in my family on my father's side. And when I stare in the mirror, I do kind of look like my mom a little bit. So, I'll accept that for now. But I'll tell you about my fondest memories in Jamaica. And that's when I lived on a farm. And living on this farm, it was a mango farm. And that farm felt like miles and miles of places to run in the hot summer heat. When I got super hot, I would just lay and be under the shades from the sun. And sometimes one particular memory that is coming back to me, it's closing my eyes a little bit because the sun was just blinding me. And I would just roll around and, just play dodge with the sun. When it got super, super hot, I would go down to the creek and just swish my legs around a little bit. That water was so cold, but I can remember just the transition from the heat to the cold. That was my fondest memory, just running around on a farm. And I think that speaks volumes about my love for the outdoors now and just being really active and loving plants. And but the issue with that is I can't keep a plant alive in my house for more than 6 months. Yeah. I'm trying to figure that part out. So on the farm, I lived with an older cousin, and she treated me like her own child because she didn't have any children of her own. One song I remember she sang to me, it was Que sera, whatever will be, will be. The future has eyes to see. And then she would ask me, Colleen, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I would say to her always, I want to be a doctor, but I never truly knew what type of doctor I wanted to be. I knew adults wanted you to say something crazy, outrageous, doctors, lawyers, or something. So I was just playing into this. But I didn't know that at that point, my faith was sealed. Honestly, she was that kind of a spiritual woman, and I felt like she saw my future. I lived in many different homes. I never felt that I was stable or connected with anyone really, except for my elder aunt. So I was really the outcast. And when I got into athletics in Jamaica, that was my identity. It was something that I could actually accomplish and show my stuff, because I was kind of good. And when I moved to the United States, same thing. I threw myself into athletics and academics. I did very well. After graduating, I went to school and, was the first to fulfill that promise to my aunt. And I now have a doctorate in counseling. And I went into a relationship that I stayed for 20 years. And in that relationship, I was seeking love because obviously all those different homes that I lived in, I didn't feel like I had anyone loved me except my aunt. And I stayed in that relationship way too long. I experienced domestic violence, emotional abuse, physical abuse. It took a toll on me. It really, affected my self-esteem. Even though I was going to school and accomplished all great things outside of the home, when I went home, it felt like a prison. And out of this relationship, I now have a 14-year-old son, and he gives me the energy, the drive. I want to make him a stable home, a safe, a loving home. And everyone I come around tell me what a great job I'm doing of raising this young man, because he's just so humble and a beautiful soul. He is the person I wanted to be at his age. He has the love that I wanted at his age. And we actually lost his dad a few years ago. And that actually, strengthened my relationship with my son, because I want to make sure that even though there's a big loss, he has that support and stability. And so he's my drive. He's my why. And his dad passed away, it was preventable. It was actually some health issues. And that further connected me with my son, because now I am all about health and wellness. And that's where Asher met me in the gym. And I'm pretty sure I kicked his butt for that cycling class. So we had conversations and here we are today. This book for me, really, it was therapeutic. There are sections in this book that I still cannot read without getting emotional, literal tears for hours, maybe. And it was very therapeutic for me. This book and this group came at a time when I lost my dream job. And it strengthened me. It gave me a voice. And I'm still working on becoming the person that I am truly meant to be. And I'm in love with all of you. All of you have such great stories, and you've further empowered me. And I hope that my story and yours will empower so many more people who have the opportunity to read and enjoy it. And that's my 1 second. Thank you all so much.
That was incredible. That was very good, Colleen. Thank you so much for sharing. As always, very inspiring to be around you. And our next amazing author is, oh yeah, Masha, one of our 2 incredible authors from Russia. Joined the project late, but delivered a compelling and thought-provoking story. Her mysterious and reflective perspective adds a unique dimension to our anthology. Let's welcome Masha to share her why.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me here. I'm very excited to share a little bit about myself. And I come from a small town in Russia, and I moved to United States when I was 12 years old, and I've gone through many different challenges that life sent me. But my main message in life, what I believe in, is that magic is real and miracles are possible, and that it's possible to go and heal your trauma. I've experienced deep trauma, sexual trauma, and I had to deal with when I moved to United States. And I went through a very difficult relationship that I also had to rebuild my life from. So I believe that you can transform your life. You can pull yourself out of the darkest moments. It is possible. And my life I've been supported from higher spirits, from my guides. And I encourage people to connect with their soul and connect with their spirit guides and ask for help and ask for support, because they are there for you. They've been with me on my journey from a very young age. And that's what I share in my book. It's like it's real life story of magic, how synchronicities and mentors and guides helped me when I was in my darkest moments. And yeah, my message is really to inspire you to look at your life and reflect when you were supported by spirit and when you were guided and helped, and inspire you to reconnect with that even deeper and even more. Yeah, there is my little story.
Thank you so much, Masha. We appreciate you, of course. Of course. All right, team. This has been awesome, by the way. How you guys feeling? You guys feeling great? I know you guys feeling great. So as we wrap up, we want to thank you for being here to celebrate the launch of Dare to Ignite Your Dreams. But the journey doesn't end here. It doesn't end here today. Mark your calendar for our post-launch event on 11 December, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We got some incredible surprise in store. Well, we have giveaways, holiday gifts, and special prizes. Will be raffled off to the lucky attendees. Full tuition offers. We have some full tuition offers, a chance to receive full tuition to our next exciting writing projects, holiday cheers, and interactive festive celebration you won't want to miss. And we want you to be part of this drawing. So in the chat, you'll find the link. Please put it in the chat for us, team. The link to join the Memoirs to Million waiting list. Adding your name to the list will ensure you enter the giveaway drawings next week. An email with detail will be sent out to you so you can win. Also update on future writing opportunities, my friend. So think about that. And why join this live? This event is more than just a celebration. It is actually a chance to reconnect with all of us. We're here to share, inspire, and collaborate as we continue this incredible journey. Don't miss this unique opportunity to engage with the authors and be part of the conversation. So let's keep that going. And last thing, I want to thank our fourth quarter lady. Her name is Mila. She's been the lady that was helped me really get this thing across the finish line with the launching piece of it. And this is her service. So Mila, if you don't mind putting your information in the chat too as well. But if you guys are curious about writing books and the journey itself, Mila is an amazing resources. She really helped me think further down the road on this thing, anticipate certain challenges, and get to work through them. But with that, folks, we are open for questions. If you want to stick around. If you want to jump off, appreciate your time, energy, attention, and money. My team acronym, right? Team TEAM, time, energy, attention, and money. We take them all here, right? But I appreciate you guys jumping here today, and definitely if you want to ask some questions, we are here. Gonna hang on and chat with you a bit. Thank you.
Asher, can I just add, for anyone that's on here and hasn't written a book, but thinks, actually, I'd really like to tell my story, and I think it really inspires someone, or even if you don't think it will inspire someone, but you think, actually, I've gone through some stuff in life that's quite interesting, or I've been through some experiences I think can help somebody else, you'll be amazed when you start writing your story. It was for me anyway, and I know a lot of the authors here also share this, how you don't even realize your own experiences can help someone else shift certain things in their lives to become so much more empowered and stronger and resilient and happy and healthy and, you know, and all of that than you can ever imagine. It is so, so powerful. And it's also very powerful for you as well. As I said, it's almost quite therapeutic to put some of these things you've gone through down on paper and realize, even for yourself, like, wow, I'm actually much stronger than I think I am. Like, I've been through some stuff and I've survived it, you know, and like not taking that for granted. And it will help you celebrate your small wins even more than perhaps you've done so in the past. So if you've ever been interested, do click on the link there on the chat. I promise you, it's been such an amazing journey.
You know, I wanted to actually echo Anne's sentiment as well. If you're not going to write this for others, write it for your 8-year-old inner child, because in this process of actually putting things down, you know, we're taught to like, don't talk about yourself because that's just bragging, and this whole entire humility, like stay humble and all that kind of stuff. I think that it actually suppresses and drowns our soul. Our soul's desire is to connect. And the only way to connect is actually by self-expression, by being raw, transparent. And when you actually put on paper, like your whole entire history, you kind of realize how much of a badass you are. Like, it's like, wow, I can't believe I went through that and I survived and I survived. And sometimes because you're actually having your own experience, you just kind of think, well, that's nothing. That's nothing. Well, what you fail to realize is that to you, it's nothing, but to someone else actually going through that same challenge, it's everything. You know, just like your own gifts. If you're a great singer, you think, well, it's nothing, but to someone else, they're like, holy cow, I wish I had that. And so in your story, in your share, you know, like Anne says, it's so therapeutic, but when you share that and you voice it to your 8-year-old, because the most important thing, the two people I feel that you want to make proud is your 8-year-old self and your 81-year-old self. You know, those are the only two people that really matter in this world. And telling that story to those two people matters. And so right now, wherever you are, tell that story. Then when you're 81 years old, what story will you tell then? It's just powerful.
Jessica, I know I saw you writing a lot. I want to know what you got on your paper.
You want, hold on. You want to know what I wrote down on my page?
Yeah, you've been writing. I saw you. We write too.
Oh my goodness gracious.
For the folks that don't know Jessica, she's my business coach, by the way. She's the one that keeps me thinking further down the road on certain things I'm challenged with. But I always connect with her about just getting better ideas. But go ahead, Jessica.
Yeah. So I wrote down a lot of ways for us to always, you know, one of the things I co-host a podcast with Asher, and I constantly say every single episode, the goal in life should be every day to wake up and be better and do better. And that is a process for everyone. And that process looks so different for each and every one of us here on the screen and for really everyone in the world. I think the process of story telling is a unique gift that is inside of all of us. Everything in our life happens for a reason. Everything, if you have a deep-rooted faith in God or the universe or, you know, good vibes, whatever it is that you believe in universally, it's already done, said, spoken. And so now being able to turn that mess into a message or that triumph into a testimony, to be able to share the lessons that you've learned and the blessings you've received throughout your life with other people, yes, are inspirational, are therapeutic, but they require courage, transparency, honesty, and for a lot of people, honesty is a hard pill to swallow, to really look deep within and figure out, not only honest with yourself, but honest with the world. How did these things make you feel? What were the experiences that impacted and formed who you are today? For a lot of people, that's a struggle. They know they have a story they want to share, even if it's not with the world, with their 8 and 80-year-old version of themselves, like Daniel said. And the Memoirs to Millions program that Asher and the co-authors are creating is a way for people to help tap into all of those things, the courage, the authenticity, the honesty, and figure out how they can not only transform their life through storytelling, but transform other lives all around the globe with their story and create impact beyond today to really create legacy. So thank you for allowing me to share, Asher.
Awesome. Anyone else want to jump online and say a few words? We can hang out. You guys don't even got to stay. If you want to stay, we can chat. But yeah, this been so you might be wondering, like, how is this book designed? And for the folks that showed up for that idea, so what I decided to do was to create something, because you've probably seen anthology books before, but this one is a little bit different how we create this one, because I want each individual author to say, this is my book, this is my personalized thing. So each book is, the first story in the book is from each individual authors. That means it's 10 separate stories, but then they are bonusing the next 4 stories from the author that they felt aligned with their story as well. So they kind of curate that process for you. But then that's kind of what the book is designed. So now you can go through it and pick a book. You might get that person's story, but get 4 author story in the book. And that, my friend, created ownership that we create with this process. So a little bit different than most anthology you've seen, but this is very unique, and you're going to love it when you start reading, like, oh yeah, I love the way you guys put this together. And now you got a book in your hand. So any question, any thoughts? Okay, we got some folks here. All right, team. Well, if we have no questions, we'll see you guys. Hope you guys sign up for the Members to Millions waiting list. Get on the list, and we're gonna talk to you guys later on about all the things we have in store for you. And let's build this community of immigrants, right? Because your story matters. Like, we are the story that make us up. And you're here to make a living from the life you've lived. So if you've been 44 years old like I am, you have some stuff in your history you can make a living from. You just gotta sit down, organize it, think about it, and say, hey, I'm gonna use this to be useful to other people, because we all just want to be useful. And that's a process. Oh, we got a hand raised. Joshua, what you got, brother? What you got? You're on mute, Kate.
There we go. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Awesome. Yeah, I just want to join in and say how inspired I am from everyone's stories and all the work they put in. You know, I just published my 4th book, my cookbook, Living the Protein Lifestyle, or the Protein Lifestyle Cookbook. And I've just really enjoyed sharing my story to help people with their health. And I think it's really incredible, you know, what you're doing here with these anthology books. And I'd love to be a part of the next one and share my story. And, you know, here in the United States, we're pretty much all immigrants, unless you're, you know, a Native American. So everyone, you know, everyone here is working together and should be trying to help each other. And, you know, your stories are really valuable. And I can't wait to read the book. So thank you for putting this together and for everyone who participated.
Thank you, bro. Oh yeah, thank you so much.
Definitely.
And yeah, good luck
Take
on
care.
your book too, man. I know you're all about cooking up good food for people, so I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's on Amazon if anyone's interested.
Awesome.
All right, take care.
I see my big sister Katie. Katie, how you doing, lady? She at work. Everybody at work tuning in, but it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. All right, team. We're here. If you want to jump off, you can jump off, but I'm gonna stick around for anybody who just wanna, you know, keep smiling at me. I'm cool with that. And I thank everyone that shows up and show their support. I really appreciate it. It's been a long journey putting this thing together, but you know, everybody find their purpose in different ways, and you know, I want to be a hero to the immigrant family because that's my family right there, the immigrant family. So I appreciate you guys showing up.
I'm gonna jump off. Thank you so much, everyone. I'm gonna go
All
feed
right,
my
Anne.
little ones. It's past 6 o'clock here in the UK, and it's only a matter of time until I hear little hands knocking on the door. Feed me now. So thank you so much, everyone.
Bye-bye.
I look forward to seeing some of you all in the next collaboration.
Yes. Have a good evening. See you December 11th.
Bye.
Yes, bye.
I see Big Brother David over there too.
Yeah, I'm leaving too. Thank you so much, Asher, from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for connecting with me. Thank you for giving me that opportunity. It was a great, great journey with all of those.
You're welcome, Karin. All right, boss. I know you're gonna be my boss eventually, so but okay, got you. I got you.
Bye.
Bye.
I also want to share and say thank you to Asher. You've done an incredible job of bringing all those stories out of me and inspiring me. And this journey has been incredible, transformational. And when I saw my name on Amazon on my book, I almost cried. I was like, oh my God, it happened.
You're welcome, Masha. You look beautiful today, by the way. You look amazing. Yeah, thank you.
I highly recommend for everyone to do this. This is just so transformational.
Thank you.
Thank you, Asher, as well from me. Last December, it was just a dream, and I just throw my story into you, and it was like magical. Today, it's like magical. 1 year, and it's 10 of us, and it was amazing journey. Personal growth. It's very standard words. I cannot express even the weight you have behind these words when you work together with the 10 awesome people like you. It's amazing experience. I believe this is the most precious part. It's not just you going and fighting against the world. It's 10 of us. It's amazing feeling. It's you cannot even put a price tag on this. It's invaluable. This is the most valuable thing in all this process for me, was access to this amazing 10 accomplishment people and all this.
Thank you, Ilona. Yes. You will give me faith, my friend, to put this together. So thank you for being the first one to turn your stuff in and say, Asher, here goes my story. I believe in you, so I appreciate that. Yeah.
That's the power of community, Ilona.
Yes.
And what we could accomplish together, working collaboratively towards, a common goal and a shared vision. It's powerful.
Let me see what we got here left. Okay. Audrey, Daniel. Okay. Rocky, tomorrow. All right, team, we're gonna say bye-bye. So let me go ahead and stop the live.